The USO began in 1941. This organization has been bringing joy to American servicemen and women for over 70 years. In 1941, the power-hungry Axis nations were rapidly expanding, bringing down their iron fist on country after country. Not even 25 years after World War I had finally ended, the possibility of the United States of America entering the growing war at hand was becoming more and more likely.
Young American service members had encountered many perils both on and off the battlefield during the First World War, and often turned to local bars and girls as a reprieve. The need to guarantee that America's fighting forces would be better prepared and encouraged for the adversities faced off the battlefields and training grounds of World War II was realized, a need echoed strongly by President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Not by machines alone will we win this war. With these words, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt forged the creation of the United Service Organizations for National Defense in February of 1941. The United States had not yet entered World War II, but in preparation of what was now the inevitable, President Roosevelt challenged the American people and 6 private organizations, including the Salvation Army and the YMCA, to create the organization that would provide and support every service member with the bonds of family and comforts of home, no matter where or under what conditions they served.
As Walter Hoving, one of the 10 original directors of the newly formed agency, put it, the purpose of the USO is to make sure that our soldiers, sailors, and other young people who are drawn away from their homes by military service and defense work are provided with wholesome recreational activities and an opportunity to maintain their ties with civil religious life. This is not only vital to military morale, but also from the standpoint of the future of our youth as peacetime citizens.
Among many things, the USO set up centers and lounges, providing a safe, home-like environment where alcohol would not be served, but hot coffee, donuts, and soft drinks would be standard fare for the soldiers. The USO ignited a fire in the American people to rally around the soldiers, sailors, and airmen serving their country. The USO's growth was exponential. In its first 5 years of existence, more than 1 million Americans volunteered their services to over 1 million visitors. And by 1945, there was a USO operation in every state.
Perhaps most famous to the USO, however, were the foxhole circuit shows. Celebrities, entertainers, and comedians would lend their time and efforts, visiting the boys wherever they were deployed and bringing them smiles and laughter in their otherwise grim circumstances. Perhaps the most well-known and beloved of these was the illustrious Bob Hope. Actor, radio host, and comedian, Bob began his partnership with the USO by recording his beloved radio show live in front of an audience of troops stationed at various bases across the country, before broadcasting it out across the airwaves. Filled with catchy music, snappy humor, and famous celebrities from across America, his radio show soon catered specifically to the boys stationed at home and abroad. Bringing in famous actresses and singers like Lana Turner and Judy Garland to say a few words or sing their trademark songs, the show was governed by requests sent in from boys stationed across the globe, boasting that they would grant anything
from a song by Judy Garland to the sizzling sound of a sirloin steak.
Bob Hope soon took his show on the road, traveling to the depths of the trenches to uplift the morale of the troops, and in his words, remind them of what they were fighting for. He toured with an engaging comedy act, popular leading ladies, and a genuine appreciation for what these brave men were facing. Bob Hope realized that one of the most important responsibilities of the entertainers was to reassure the armed forces that the country was behind them. Bob Hope quickly became a legend in the trenches and didn't stop after the end of World War II. He even spent his Christmases overseas with the boys, a tradition he kept throughout his service with the USO. Partnering with the USO, he performed for 4 decades, bringing cheer and laughter to the men fighting in World War II, the Korean and Vietnam Wars, the Lebanon peacekeeping effort, and the Gulf War, all the way through Operation Desert Storm. His name became synonymous with the USO, loved and adored by all.
The USO is alive and thriving today, celebrating their 75th anniversary this year, strengthening America's military service by keeping them connected to family, home, and country throughout their service to the nation. The USO was instrumental in the Allies' victory, ensuring the soldiers of their nation's support and rallying the nation around the fight, facing the crisis at hand as one.
Perhaps best said by then General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the war was won because of the cooperation of nations and of people within nations. The USO has given an impressive demonstration of the way people in our country of different creeds, races, and economic status can work together when the nation has dedicated itself to an all-out integrated effort.
Because Franklin D. Roosevelt saw the need for the morale of military personnel to remain high, his challenge initiated what is perhaps the most influential outreach to the men and women in service to America, an organization that was instrumental in the Allies' victory in World War II, and an organization that has lived on to this day, continuing to change soldiers' lives, strengthening the resolve of the brave men and women that risk their lives for the safety and protection of our great country.
This doesn't rhyme. One of these days soon we'll be seeing you. And meantime, this is Bob Hope thanking you for those letters to Command Performance, Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. Speaking for everybody on Command Performance and saying the best of the best from the USA.